Hey everyone, welcome back. Tonight's story is The Whispering Shadows Tavern. Get comfortable, and if you enjoy these bedtime adventures, feel free to like and subscribe. All right, let's get started. As the warm twilight settles over the quaint village, The Whispering Shadows Tavern glows invitingly. The soft sound of laughter and clinking mugs fills the air, creating a cozy atmosphere. He enters, a thief with a keen eye for treasures. His dark hair falls softly over his forehead, and his nimble fingers twitch with anticipation. He scans the room, taking in the flickering candlelight and the scent of spiced ale. At a corner table, a wizard sits, her robes shimmering gently in the light. She has a knowing smile, her eyes sparkling with wisdom. Nearby, the tavernkeeper, a stout figure with a warm demeanor, polishes a wooden mug. The thief's heart races as he approaches the table, drawn to the mysterious aura surrounding the wizard. He senses that something extraordinary lies within her grasp, waiting to be discovered. The thief slides into the chair opposite the wizard, his movements fluid and unhurried. The wooden seat creaks softly beneath him, a subtle reminder of the tavern's age and stories. He leans forward, curiosity dancing in his eyes, as the wizard regards him with a serene expression. The air between them hums with unspoken possibilities. The wizard's fingers trace the rim of her goblet, leaving trails of condensation that glisten briefly before vanishing. Her voice, when she speaks, is low and melodic, weaving through the tavern's ambient noise like a gentle stream. "You've come seeking something, haven't you?" He nods, the corners of his lips curling into a faint smile. "I hear you hold secrets," he replies, his voice barely above a whisper, as is afraid to disturb the delicate balance of their meeting. Around them, the tavern's patrons continue their revelry, oblivious to the quiet exchange. The scent of roasted meat mingles with the earthy aroma of the wizard's herbs, creating a heady mixture that fills the thief's senses. A distant bard begins to play a haunting melody, the notes drifting like wisps of smoke through the room. The wizard's eyes, deep and knowing, lock onto his. "Secrets are not given freely," she murmurs, her words carrying the weight of ancient knowledge. "What are you willing to offer in return?" The thief hesitates, his mind racing through possibilities. His fingers brush against the worn leather pouch at his side, feeling the reassuring weight of his own collection of secrets and treasures. "A tale for a tale," he proposes, his voice steady, yet edged with anticipation. The wizard considers, her smile widening ever so slightly. "Very well," she agrees, leaning back in her chair, ready to listen. The thief leans closer, ears perked as he overhears the wizard speaking to the tavernkeeper. Her voice is soft yet commanding, discussing a powerful magical artifact that has the potential to change destinies. The tavernkeeper nods, his expression a mix of awe and caution. The thief's curiosity deepens. He feels the pull of the artifact's allure. He imagines the thrill of possessing such a treasure. As the conversation continues, he catches snippets of details. Words like ancient and hidden power floating through the air. The warmth of the tavern wraps around him like a comforting blanket, but his mind races with thoughts of how to claim the artifact without alarming the wizard. He takes a deep breath, contemplating his next move, excitement bubbling within him. The bard, seated in the shadowed corner, strums their lute softly, weaving a melody that dances through the air like a gentle breeze. Their eyes flicker towards the thief, sensing his intrigue. The tavern's warm light casts a golden hue over the wooden beams, creating a cozy haven amidst the storm raging outside. The wizard, unaware of the thief's intent, continues her conversation, her fingers tracing invisible patterns on the table as she speaks. Her cloak, a deep indigo, drapes elegantly over her shoulders, hinting at the mysteries she holds. The tavernkeeper listens intently, his eyes reflecting the flickering hearth, as if absorbing every word she utters. The thief shifts in his seat, the creak of the wooden bench masked by the bard's music. He considers approaching the wizard, perhaps feigning interest in her tales to glean more information. Yet he hesitates, knowing the risks of drawing her attention too soon. Instead, he watches, his gaze sharp and calculating. Outside, the wind howls, rattling the shutters, a reminder of the world beyond the tavern's walls. The bard's tune shifts, becoming a lilting ballad that speaks of distant lands and forgotten legends. It resonates with the thief, stirring a longing for adventure and the unknown. As the wizard's voice lowers, the thief leans forward, eager to catch every whispered word. The air crackles with anticipation, the promise of magic hanging heavy, as if the very tavern itself holds its breath, waiting for the next move in this unfolding tale. Intrigued by the artifact's potential, the thief devises a clever plan. He sits at the bar, pretending to sip his drink while his mind races with possibilities. He knows he must be stealthy, using his skills to navigate the wizard's defenses. He glances at the wizard, her focus still on the tavernkeeper, and considers how to approach her without raising suspicion. Perhaps a distraction? He smiles to himself, envisioning a minor illusion to divert her attention. With a gentle flick of his wrist, he practices the spell in his mind, imagining the shimmering effect it would create. The tavern's warm ambience fuels his confidence, and he feels a sense of camaraderie with the other patrons, all blissfully unaware of his intentions. The plan forms like a delicate thread, weaving through his thoughts, ready to be set in motion. The bard, seated in the corner, strums a quiet melody on their lute, the notes drifting like whispers through the tavern. Their eyes flicker over the patrons, catching the subtle exchange between the thief and the wizard. They sense the tension beneath the surface, a current of unspoken intentions weaving through the room. The wizard, oblivious to the thief's scheming, leans closer to the tavernkeeper, her voice a soft murmur. Her fingers trace idle patterns on the wooden counter, leaving faint trails of magic that dissipate into the air. She is lost in her own thoughts, her mind a labyrinth of arcane knowledge and half-formed spells. The thief, emboldened by the bard's music, decides to act. He rises from his seat, moving with the practiced grace of a shadow. His footsteps are silent on the worn floorboards as he approaches the wizard, his expression carefully neutral. As he nears, the wizard's attention shifts, her gaze meeting his with a spark of curiosity. He offers a disarming smile, the kind that speaks of shared secrets and unspoken alliances. A word, if you will, he murmurs, his voice low enough to blend with the bard's melody. The wizard considers him for a moment, her eyes narrowing slightly. She nods, gesturing for him to sit. The thief takes the seat beside her, the wood creaking softly under his weight. He leans in, his voice barely above a whisper, weaving his tale of intrigue and opportunity. Outside, the wind howls, rattling the tavern's shutters like a distant warning. Inside, the air is thick with anticipation, the promise of adventure hanging like mist. The bard's song shifts, a subtle change in tempo, echoing the rising tension as the thief's plan begins to unfold. As he contemplates his scheme, the tavernkeeper approaches, sensing the thief's intentions. With a knowing smile, he leans in closer, his voice low and soothing. "You might want to tread carefully, my friend. The wizard is not one to be trifled with. Her powers are vast and unpredictable." The thief nods, absorbing the tavernkeeper's words. He feels a flicker of doubt, but quickly pushes it aside. The warmth of the tavern envelops him, and he knows he must proceed with caution. The tavernkeeper's warning lingers in the air, a gentle reminder of the wizard's strength. The thief takes a deep breath, steadying himself. He understands that cleverness, not force, will guide him through this encounter. With renewed determination, he prepares to approach the wizard once more, ready to unveil the mystery that lies ahead. The tavern's atmosphere hums with quiet anticipation, the murmur of patrons a soft backdrop to the thief's thoughts. Shadows dance across the wooden beams above, cast by the flickering hearth, as if whispering secrets of their own. The thief's fingers brush against the worn leather of his pouch, a talisman of past successes and failures, grounding him in the present moment. He scans the room, eyes settling on the wizard seated in a dim corner, her presence commanding despite the subdued light. Her robes, deep as midnight, seem to absorb the surrounding warmth, leaving an aura of mystery in their wake. A faint scent of herbs and arcane oils drifts from her direction, mingling with the tavern's earthy aroma. The thief approaches cautiously, each step measured, the floorboards creaking softly beneath his boots. He senses the wizard's gaze upon him, a weight both heavy and expectant. As he nears, the air thickens with unspoken tension, a palpable energy that crackles between them, like a storm on the horizon. "May I join you?" he asks, voice steady yet respectful. As the thief approaches the wizard, he feels a shift in the air. The wizard's gaze sharpens, and she turns her attention to him, her eyes glimmering with curiosity. He hesitates for a moment, caught in the intensity of her stare. She smiles knowingly, as if she has been expecting him. "Ah, a curious soul," she says, her voice melodic and inviting. "What brings you to my table?" The thief swallows his nerves, sealing the warmth of the tavern wrap around him like a protective cloak. He realizes that this is not a moment for deception, but for honesty. He shares his admiration for her magic, his voice steady and sincere. The wizard listens intently, her expressions softening. As they converse, he feels a connection forming, a bridge between their worlds. The atmosphere hums with a gentle energy, and he senses that the wizard is not just a powerful figure, but a kindred spirit. The bard, seated nearby, observes the exchange with quiet interest. Their fingers idly trace patterns on the wooden table, feeling the grooves and knots beneath their touch. The tavern's warmth seeps into their bones, mingling with the faint scent of spiced ale and roasting meat. Shadows flicker across the bard's face as the fire crackles in the hearth, casting a dance of light and dark. The wizard leans forward, her eyes never leaving the thief's. "Magic is not just spells and potions," she muses, her voice a gentle murmur. "It is the essence of life, the pulse of the world around us." Her words resonate with the bard, who nods in silent agreement, understanding the melody beneath her speech. The thief, emboldened by her openness, shares tales of his own encounters with the arcane, his voice growing more animated. The wizard listens, her laughter a soft, tinkling sound that fills the space between them. The bard smiles, feeling the harmony of their shared stories, a symphony of voices weaving a new narrative in the heart of the tavern. Instead of confrontation, the wizard presents him with a riddle, her eyes sparkling with mischief. To uncover the secret of the artifact, you must first solve this. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I has no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? The thief's heart races as he contemplates the words. The tavern seems to hush, the flickering candlelight casting soft shadows on the walls. He feels the weight of the riddle pressing upon him, yet the cozy warmth of the tavern encourages him to think clearly. He closes his eyes for a moment, allowing the riddle to swirl in his mind. The patrons around him watch with quiet anticipation, their faces illuminated by the gentle glow of the hearth. The wizard's gaze remains fixed on him, a blend of challenge and encouragement in her expression. The thief opens his eyes, a flicker of understanding dancing within them. He leans back in his chair, the wood creaking softly beneath him. The room's warmth wraps around him like a comforting cloak, and he lets out a slow breath, steadying himself. An echo, he finally replies, his voice barely above a whisper. The word hangs in the air, delicate yet powerful, as if it carries the weight of ancient secrets. A murmur ripples through the tavern, patrons exchanging glances of admiration and surprise. The wizard's lips curve into a satisfied smile, her eyes gleaming with approval. Indeed, she acknowledges, her voice as smooth as silk. You have solved the riddle, and with it, unlocked the first step toward understanding the artifact's mystery. She reaches into the folds of her robe, retrieving a small, intricately carved box. Its surface is etched with symbols that seem to shift and dance in the dim light. She places it between them, the wood cool and smooth to the touch. Inside lies the next piece of your journey, she explains, her tone both cryptic and inviting. The thief's fingers itch to open it, curiosity burning within him like a flame. Yet he hesitates, sensing the gravity of the moment. The bard, who has been quietly observing from the corner, leans forward, their eyes alight with intrigue. The air is thick with anticipation, a tangible energy that seems to pulse with every heartbeat. As the thief reaches for the box, the tavern door swings open with a gust of cold night air, sending a shiver through the room. A shadowy figure steps inside, their presence commanding and mysterious. The patrons turn, curiosity piqued, as the newcomer strides toward the table, their intentions cloaked in secrecy. The thief's hand hovers over the box, his decision momentarily suspended as he watches the figure approach. The promise of new revelations hanging in the balance. The thief contemplates the riddle, feeling the cozy warmth of the tavern envelop him. He takes a deep breath, allowing the atmosphere to soothe his racing thoughts. The flickering candlelight dances around him, casting playful shadows on the wooden beams above. He recalls the whispers of the wind outside, the way it carries secrets through the trees. The answer begins to take shape in his mind, a gentle realization blooming like a flower. He opens his eyes, glancing at the wizard, who watches him with a patient smile. The tavernkeeper stands nearby, his presence a comforting reminder of the camaraderie shared within these walls. The thief knows he must trust his instincts and embrace the warmth of the moment. With renewed clarity, he prepares to share his answer, feeling the cozy embrace of the tavern guide him forward. The bard sits nearby, strumming a soft melody on their lute, each note weaving into the tavern's comforting hum. Their music is a gentle river, carrying the thief's thoughts further into clarity. The wizard, her eyes gleaming with quiet wisdom, nods encouragingly, her fingers tracing patterns in the air, as if drawing unseen runes of support. The thief clears his throat, the sound barely rising above the melody and murmurs. "I believe the answer lies in the heart of the forest," he begins, his voice steady yet soft. "Where the old oak stands, its roots deep in forgotten soil." The wizard's smile widens, her approval as warm as the hearth's glow. "A wise deduction," she replies, her voice a soothing balm. "The forest holds many secrets, and the oak is the keeper of ancient truths." The tavernkeeper, polishing a mug with practiced ease, chuckles. "Ah, the forest," he muses, his voice a rumble like distant thunder. "Many have sought its mysteries. Few have returned unchanged." A bard's fingers dance across the strings, their song shifting to a tune that speaks of adventure and discovery. The thief feels the pull of the unknown, a call echoing in his soul. He knows the path ahead will be fraught with challenges, yet the promise of revelation stirs his spirit. Outside, the wind whispers through the cracks, a reminder of the world beyond these walls. The thief, buoyed by the warmth and camaraderie of the tavern, nods to his companions. "Then we shall seek the oak," he declares, determination lighting his eyes, "and uncover the secrets it guards." The wizard and bard exchange a glance, their shared resolve a silent pact. Together, they will face whatever awaits in the heart of the forest. As he wrestles with the riddle, other patrons sense his struggle and offer quiet hints and encouragement. A kind old woman leans over, whispering, "Think of the sounds that travel through the air, dear." A young man nods, adding, "It's something that carries messages, even if it has no form." The thief feels a swell of gratitude for their support, their gentle words weaving a tapestry of encouragement around him. The warmth of the tavern envelops him, and he realizes he is not alone in this endeavor. The camaraderie of the patrons fuels his determination, and he takes a moment to appreciate the kindness surrounding him. With each hint, the answer becomes clearer, and he feels a sense of connection to those around him. The riddle transforms from a challenge into a shared experience, a gentle reminder of the magic that exists in unity. The thief closes his eyes, letting the murmurs of the tavern wash over him like a soothing tide. The crackle of the hearth mingles with the soft clinking of mugs, creating a symphony of comfort. He breathes deeply, inhaling the rich aroma of spiced ale and roasted meats, grounding himself in the moment. Nearby, the bard strums their lute, fingers dancing across the strings with practiced ease. Their melody is a gentle undercurrent, threading through the conversations like a river through a forest. The notes rise and fall, echoing the rhythm of the thief's thoughts as he pieces together the clues. The wizard, seated at a corner table, observes with a serene smile. Her eyes, sharp and knowing, flicker with the light of understanding. She raises her glass in a silent toast, acknowledging the thief's growing realization. The thief opens his eyes, clarity dawning like the first light of dawn. He turns to the old woman, gratitude shining in his gaze. "It's the wind," he says, voice steady and sure. The answer is the wind. A ripple of approval passes through the patrons, a collective exhalation of shared triumph. The bard nods, their song shifting to a lively tune that celebrates the moment. The wizard's smile widens, her approval a silent benediction. In this small, bustling tavern, the thief finds more than just the answer to a riddle. He discovers a community bound by the simple magic of shared wisdom and kindness, a treasure more valuable than gold. In a moment of clarity, the thief realizes the riddle's connection to his own past. Memories flood his mind, the echoes of laughter and whispers of the wind intertwining. He recalls a childhood spent chasing shadows, listening to the stories carried by the breeze. The answer crystallizes within him, a soft light illuminating the path ahead. With newfound confidence, he stands tall, ready to share his revelation. The warmth of the tavern surrounds him, and he feels a sense of belonging. The wizard's gaze remains steady, her expression one of encouragement. He knows this is not just about the artifact. It is about understanding himself. The riddle has become a bridge to his past, guiding him toward a brighter future. He takes a deep breath, ready to speak the answer that has been waiting to be revealed. The bard leans closer, their eyes reflecting the flickering hearth. Curiosity dancing within their depths. The room is hushed, the air thick with anticipation, as if the very walls are holding their breath. The thief's voice, steady yet tinged with emotion, breaks the silence. He speaks of a forgotten village, nestled in the shadow of ancient trees, where tales were woven into the fabric of everyday life. As he recounts his memories, the wizard listens intently, her fingers tracing invisible patterns on the table's worn surface. Her presence is a calming force, grounding the thief as he navigates the labyrinth of his past. The bard nods along, their understanding a silent melody that harmonizes with the thief's words. The warmth of the tavern wraps around them like a comforting embrace, the scent of spiced ale and roasting meat mingling in the air. Outside, the wind howls softly, a distant echo of the stories the thief once knew. His revelation is not just an answer to the riddle, but a key unlocking a door long sealed. With each word, the thief feels the weight of his past lifting, replaced by a sense of purpose. The wizard's eyes meet his, a shared understanding passing between them. The bard's gentle smile reassures him, a promise of companionship on the journey ahead. With a steady voice, he confidently answers the riddle, surprising everyone in the tavern. An echo, he declares, the word resonating through the cozy space. The wizard's eyes widen with delight, and a smile spreads across her face. The tavern erupts in soft applause, the patrons sharing in the joy of the moment. The warmth of their support envelops him, and he feels a sense of accomplishment wash over him. The wizard leans forward, her expression one of admiration. Well done, clever thief. You have unlocked the secret of the artifact. The atmosphere hums with a gentle energy, and the thief realizes that this encounter has transformed him in ways he never expected. The cozy tavern, filled with laughter and warmth, becomes a sanctuary of newfound purpose. The bard, seated in the corner with their lute resting against their knee, strums a soft melody that mingles with the crackling of the hearth. Their fingers dance over the strings, each note weaving a gentle spell that soothes the soul. A subtle fragrance of spiced ale and roasted meats fills the air, mingling with the earthy scent of the wooden beams overhead. The wizard, her eyes still alight with curiosity, gestures for the thief to join her at the table. He moves with a quiet grace, his footsteps barely a whisper on the tavern's worn floorboards. As he sits, the wizard leans closer, her voice a low murmur that carries the weight of ancient knowledge. "This artifact," she begins, the fingers tracing the intricate patterns etched into the table's surface, "holds more than just riddles. It is a key to realms unseen, a bridge to mysteries long forgotten." The thief listens intently, his mind racing with possibilities. The warmth of the tavern seems to pulse in time with his heartbeat, each beat a reminder of the path now laid before him. He nods, understanding the gravity of the wizard's words. Outside, a gentle rain begins to fall, its rhythm a soothing counterpoint to the lively chatter within. The bard's melody shifts, echoing the soft patter of raindrops against the window panes. The patrons, wrapped in their own conversations, cast occasional glances toward the trio, sensing the significance of their gathering. The wizard's eyes meet the thief's, a silent promise passing between them. "Together," she says, her voice firm yet inviting, "we will uncover the secrets this artifact holds. Are you ready for the journey?" The thief, feeling the weight of destiny upon his shoulders, nods. "I am ready," he replies, determination etched into his features. The wizard smiles and reveals the true purpose of the artifact, which is more than just treasure. This artifact holds the power to amplify the goodness within one's heart, she explains, her voice soft and melodic. It is not a tool for greed, but a beacon of hope. The thief's heart swells with understanding, and he feels a profound connection to the wizard's words. The tavernkeeper nods in agreement, his eyes twinkling with pride. The warmth of the tavern wraps around them, creating a cocoon of shared wisdom. The thief realizes that his journey has led him to this moment, where he can choose a path of kindness and purpose. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of possibility, and he knows that he has been forever changed by this encounter. The bard, who had been quietly observing from their corner, strums a gentle chord on their lute, the notes hanging in the air like a delicate promise. Their eyes, a shade of deep forest green, reflect the flickering hearth, capturing the room's collective breath. The melody they weave is one of hope and renewal, a song that speaks to the heart's deepest desires. As the music fills the tavern, the wizard's gaze softens, her thoughts drifting to distant lands where such artifacts are rare and precious. She remembers her own journey, the trials faced and the allies gained. Her heart swells with gratitude for the path that has led her here. To this moment of shared understanding, the thief, still seated, feels a warmth spreading through him, not from the fire, but from the newfound purpose igniting within. His fingers brush against the artifact's cool surface, and he senses its ancient power, waiting to be awakened by the purity of intent. He glances at the bard, whose music seems to unlock hidden parts of his soul, urging him to embrace this new path. Outside, the night deepens, stars peeking through the velvet sky, casting a serene glow over the village. The tavern's wooden beams creak softly, as if whispering secrets of old to those who would listen. The scent of pine and earth drifts in through the open window, mingling with the rich aroma of spiced ale. The tavernkeeper, content in his role as witness to this unfolding tale, leans back, his chair groaning under his weight. He knows that such moments are rare, where destinies intertwine and hearts are laid bare. His eyes meet the wizard's, and they share a silent understanding, a recognition of the magic that binds them all. In this quiet sanctuary, where time seems to pause, the thief makes a vow to himself. He will carry the artifact's promise forward, letting its light guide him through the shadows of his past, towards a future bright with possibility. As the evening draws to a close, the thief leaves the tavern transformed by the encounter, a new sense of purpose in his heart. He steps into the cool night air, the stars twinkling above like distant lanterns. The whispers of the tavern linger in his mind, a gentle reminder of the magic that exists within and around him. He glances back at the warm glow of the Whispering Shadows Tavern, feeling a sense of gratitude for the connections forged within its walls. The journey ahead is filled with promise, and he knows he will carry the lessons learned into the world beyond. With a lightness in his step, he walks away, ready to embrace the adventures that await him, forever changed by the warmth of the tavern and the wisdom of its inhabitants. The bard watches the thief disappear into the night, their hearts swelling with a mix of pride and melancholy. They remain seated by the tavern's hearth, the embers casting flickering shadows that dance across the wooden floor. The warmth of the fire wraps around them like an old friend, comforting yet urging them to move forward. Outside, the night is alive with the soft rustle of leaves and the distant call of an owl. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of pine and earth, a reminder of the vast world waiting beyond the tavern's walls. The bard knows their own path is intertwined with the melodies of the wind and the stories of the stars. The wizard, seated across from the bard, sips her spiced wine, her eyes reflecting the fire's glow. Her presence is a calming force, a steady anchor amidst the swirling possibilities of the night. She speaks softly, her voice a gentle murmur that blends with the crackling fire. Will you stay a while longer, or does the road call to you as well? She asks, her gaze thoughtful and knowing. The bard considers her question, feeling the pull of both the familiar and the unknown. The tavern has been a sanctuary, a place of stories and song, but the world beyond beckons with its own tales waiting to be discovered. I think it's time, the bard replies, their voice carrying a note of resolve. The songs of the road are calling, and I must answer. The wizard nods, understanding etched in her features. She raises her glass in a silent toast, a gesture of farewell and good fortune. As the bard rises, the tavern seems to hold its breath, the air thick with unspoken promises. They step into the night, the stars guiding their way, a new adventure unfolding with each step.